Worrying story where a data breach in another big South African company has certainly highlighted the need for big business to focus on cyber security. Dis-Chem is the latest victim of a cyber attack with, listen to this, at least 3.6 million of its customers' information exposed. Dalene Deale, Executive Head at Secure Citizen, joining us this afternoon. Dalene, hello to you. So we'll talk first of all what companies need to do in a moment, but if I was one of those 3.6 million people, how worried should I be? What kind of information could these hackers have?
Well, Gareth, the important thing to note is that with the current trend of data breaches happening globally, not just in South Africa, it is really important for citizens to make sure that they are a little bit more alert when they get phone calls and people asking them to verify information. The data that has been leaked, although it might not sound like it's not sensitive information, but it is still valuable in the hands of a fraudster who will use it for social engineering and ultimately potentially get more information out of you so that they can get up to no good using your name.
When we talk about getting up to no good, for example, I was seeing people saying that they're seeing an increase in spam emails, spam SMSs. If you click this link on the SMS, then we'll help you with recovering your sort of data. I suppose this is how these syndicates work. They make it seem legit, and you give away your information without even realizing. And how can you tell the difference if someone is trying to help you legitimately or trying to scam you?
The important thing to know is when a company phones you, you always have the right to ask for either a reference number, put down the phone and call back on the official number. Or if they ask you to access via a URL or a link, a hyperlink that they send to you, you can always go directly to the website or ask them to just, give you an opportunity or a place where you can find the right spot on their website so that you can contact them instead of the other way around. We ourselves offer the ability for individuals to enroll as secure citizens. Well, we're launching it at the SAFPS Summit next week, where we're trying to teach individuals on how to be responsible and verifying themselves using their biometrics rather than information.
This is going to be tricky going forward as well. I'll be curious to catch up again after it's launched. This is going to be tricky, though, going forward, because most clients, most customers, off the back of this hack and the other hacks we've seen, are going to be very hesitant to give up our information. The problem is, though, Dalene, isn't it? Companies need our information to get things done. So it's going to become complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, so look, I always highlight that it's very important to note that the company is as much a victim as the consumers whose data has been breached. And all of these organizations offer us the services that we've become accustomed to, that we enjoy. So it is a fine balance, but there is ways for individuals to make sure that you are in fact dealing with the right person. SAFPS, Southern African Fraud Prevention Services, also have a solution that is free to consumers, where if you are concerned, you are able to go onto the website and register for a protective registration. It has been around for many years, but traditionally has been used by companies when information has been leaked. Consumers, though, have the right to go and register without having been a victim even. They can, and it uses biometrics to make sure that you are who you claim to be. And that then gives financial services or companies that engage with your information the necessary information to say, listen, this person is cautious. They feel they either have been a victim of identity theft or they are protecting their information. You need to take extra steps to verify them. And we have historically relied on things like knowledge-based authentication. That's like when a company phones you and they ask you 5 to 8 random questions pertaining to your life to verify your identity. But that's lost its efficacy because so much of our information is out there. This is why we as a company are leaning into technology in partnership with SAFPS, and we're creating the capability for companies to actually use biometrics to verify the identity of an individual rather than information, because I walk around with my face, my fingerprint, and my voice. And if you're not me, well, you can have my data. As long as you don't have my face, my voice, and my fingerprint, I'm safe.
How difficult would that be to implement? I've just jumped onto the SAFPS website, safps.org.za, by the way, if someone's watching and wants to see this 2022 Virtual Fraud Summit coming up on the 18th of May. Dalene, how easy is it to move from the systems we currently have to, for example, biometric? Is it quite costly, quite easy to do?
No, so the way that Secure Citizen came to be was that SAFPS realized that the data breaches are creating a cause for concern about 3 years ago. And they partnered with our owner company, OneVault, which is a biometrics company. And we made sure that we are making this technology available to companies. We actually launched the business side of this last year, and there are 9 companies already using this. And it is as simple as having an API that gets plugged into even your legacy systems, your native apps, your websites, even the likes of Bid or Buy, Skynet. We've got a multitude of companies. JD Group currently uses it so that you can pay with your face instead of putting in a PIN code when you have revolving credit with them. So there are companies that are moving towards this technology because they realize the importance of recreating trust between businesses and consumers. The only way that we are going to fight fraud is for businesses and consumers to actually stand together, because the company and the individual is a victim. So we've got to fight fraud together. It is not something that you can go on your own. And we've made it affordable. So there really is no more, there's no more reason for companies to say that we can't do this.
And hopefully companies do start moving into this new way of protecting our data that they need to do their jobs. But in a case like Dis-Chem that we've been discussing, Dalene, last question to you, what is the one question you'd be asking them, their executives, their head of IT, about this breach? Maybe it's how the passwords are stored. Perhaps it is a human error where too many people have access to this information. What's the one thing that Dis-Chem should do differently going forward?
For Dis-Chem and every other company out there that has experienced a breach or has experienced any kind of fraud, it is important not to shy away from mentioning the fact that you have been a victim, even if you are a company. It's not about the brand. That's when you start actually having to step up and say, listen, we want to make sure that the fraudsters don't get any further with this. And it's important for people to also understand that fraudsters are very clever in the sense that they will wait before they will use this data, because we tend to forget. And if in 6 months' time or 8 months' time you get a phone call and there is an individual that claims to be from Dis-Chem wanting to refill your prescription proactively, or if there is somebody that says, I want to verify you and here's some information, and they create that level of trust, but say to you, but we just want to verify that it really is you, and then they ask you for more sensitive information, that's when you have your alarm bells going off, and you need to be just a little bit more cautious with your information.
It comes down to the consumers also being cautious with what we do. Dalene, I really appreciate your time. You can head over to securecitizen.co.za if you want more information. Also, safps.org.za. Dalene Deale, Executive Head at Secure Citizen, joining us this afternoon. Very, very important, a biometric way of doing things going forward. It's got to be the way that big business moves ahead. All right,